Okay, so one of the things you can do for getting yourself some character art for this is, of course, one of my reference sheets that I've given to an artist for a commission piece for one of my characters. It has a lot of different references. But one of the things you will notice up in the left corner is a screen cap from Baldur's Gate 3. And I've done this a couple of times um, where I have used like Hero Forge or Neo 2 or Code Vein or yep, Baldur's Gate 3 or let's go back. I forgot one. There you are. Or City of Heroes. Uh, or City of Heroes again. Um, as a reference for I want a character like this. Uh, the character creators do give you a lot of freedom to get specific pieces, alter your the facial structure. And let's see here, where is there's Nasali. Nasali, I gave this bit of these bits of references. I gave to I went for scholars robes. The selection of the kind of Asian theme was not. I was just looking for scholars robes, and these like, yeah, those look right. I wasn't really going for an Asian theme. I did this for what kind of pattern I wanted her skin to have, some other looks of Yanti, and uh, some general look of what her hair should look like. Um, and this is what the ended up looking like. And yeah, Avianetka gives me a lot of good pieces of art. I really love what Avianetka does. Uh, and let's see, Irene and Corey, those pieces of art aren't back yet. They are still out in the works. This is Caress Milani, did Baldur's Gate 3 and Hero Forge as a combination. I also did a reference for the tattoos that I wanted her to have and said I kind of wanted them more Egyptian themed. And she came out from Silky Noir. Silky Noir gave me this. You can see the scaling, the fangs, the whip, all that, the different pieces. And so that's how she came. And Proper Ruin, I did this little bit here. If you notice, I said mostly just for referencing scar position. I didn't actually take this to be the shape of the face that I wanted. I was just mostly focusing on this is kind of where I want the scar to be. And I gave all these other stuff. Here's an important note. Uh, when you point out something that you created, they will use that as guiding star. Be prepared for that. These are just, this is what Yanti look like. These are examples of Yanti, but there's a lot of wide variety here. So that's a wide net. This is something I made for the character. So this is what the person focused on. And they gave me this. And the art, the weapons and all that. Oops, that's the Wallachian. The weapons and all that. They went looking at this. I did want to give her a shotel, but I don't see a picture of a shotel here, so I don't know how that worked out. I think this is an older version that I didn't end up using with the artist in question. But yeah, some examples of the gambeson here, the some armor and such like that. Um, Examples of what other Yanti look like. But again, this was the guiding star, and I knew that was what was going to happen. So this is what the basic face came up looking like, and I'm fine with that. Um, let's see. I knew that going in. Then I have Kasumi Tendo. So if you're going to use it as a reference, use it as one reference of many. Give extra context. I still have not sat down and forced myself to create a standard template for what I do one of these reference sheets. I need to do that. But here I have a lot of different references of the source character Kasumi Tendo. I have the Templar outfits here. And this character ended up coming out looking like it is Kasumi Tendo. Tendo. It is a fanfic version thereof. This art piece came out looking like this, and I was very happy with this. Silky Noir again. Um, and let's see, then there was the Wallachian. Again, I gave some references to the martial art that she practiced. She has a cane. I mentioned she has a cane. There's a lot of wasted space here. I mentioned the doctor's bag she would have, that it was kind of a diesel punk or steampunk type thing, and gave her a kind of look that I wanted her to have. And she ended up looking like, there's fate, like this. And again, I was very happy. Um, Another case where I used video game stuff. Um, let's see here. Very specifically, I said this is not the character. I was just looking at the wings for what I want her for her aura to look like. And I had two pictures here, one with the aura flaring, one with it not. I had the veining here and all this. And these two pieces came out looking like this, which is one of my favorite pieces ever. Avianek and Silky Noir are some of my favorite artists. Uh, so many details on all the work that they give me. Um, and this is how, like, she took the I don't know Silky Noir's pronouns, actually. They're rather private. Um, but this is how they took the, I kind of want the celestial wing images like that. So this is definitely a thing. Let me go ahead and go back and look. I tend towards wall of text and wall of images, and I need to sit down and control and come up with a standard, so I don't do this as much. But I do a lot of things that are standard. I do samples of the people of the kind that I want, the themes. I do something that I do specific. Let me go ahead and pull up Zinna's. So with Zinna, nothing here I pointed at as her. I have this set up here for what I want her, the veining of her skin and her face to look like. I have this set up here for what her hair color and kind of like the Hollywood unkempt. I have this over here for like the supernatural aspects of her are, and then I have all this down. I have this here for what the inspiring character for the kit was, which was Saber Alter, the corrupted saber, and I have this here for the sort of weapons that I wanted her to have, the gear. And this all came out to this look. So you got the hair, you got the veining. For the supernatural aspect, we got that in this picture. We got the weapons, the spiked club, and all that. I do love the little detail. Ooh, I do love the little details she get, like the blood-stained armor, which I asked for. I liked the fact that the chainmail's a little bit falling apart. There's nicks and cuts into all her gear. Her gear is on the verge of falling apart. Well, it's in decent condition, but it's damaged. It has a lot of use left out of it, but it has definitely seen a lot of use. This is the one that's most in danger, is the sash here holding her scrolls. Um, and you can kind of see that she's very tired around the eyes. It is those little details like that. So when you present, I made this character like this is what's going to be your guiding star. And that is, again, what happened with Nasali. That is what happened with Caress. That is what happened with Proper Ruin here. And Kasumi went with the I gave several aspects of the character that she is, the canonical Kasumi Tendo, so they went with that. And here, several. I just gave several images and the one City of Heroes thing. So And after I get done with this bit, I'm going to go and just give you a rundown of some of the games I've used and programs I've used to make some of these images, like Neo 2, City of Heroes, Neverwinter Nights 2, and stuff like that. In fact, do I have another? I have time for another one. Might as well. See, this is one of the only times I used um, Neverwinter Nights 2. I used to use Neverwinter Nights 2 to create images for tabletop fairly often. I would use Baldur's Gate 3 now. But I have the one thing right here, and again, that would ended up getting used as the guiding star. And I have stuff here like I wanted these kind of eyes and that kind of hair. Um, and that ended up looking like, oh, oh yeah, that is, let's see here. Uh, do I have another version of that that doesn't have all the text? Yes. That ended up looking like this. It looks very pikish, but this character was made long, but she's a Dhampir. She was made long, and it's even Saren Ray. She was made long before I heard of Critical Role, but does look very much like Pike. She's also a halfling. She's half halfling, half human, and her human half was also a vampire. So she's a tall halfling. Anyway, um, that's that. And then I'll go ahead and add on to the top of this. I'm going to add some of quick rundown. Like, I think the longest of the next bits is about 4 minutes, and I just go over several of the different character creator systems that I've used for portraits and stuff over times. So yeah. Okay, so first of these character creators I'm going to look at is Neo 2. I'm going to try to keep this short so I don't make the overall video long. Neo 2 is a Souls-like, where an anime styling. The advantage is you're going to have a lot of settings. Um, a lot of settings you can do. There's a lot of things you can do with hair. This is increased by the accessories. There is a lot of different situations here. There is a lot of styles of eyes, and you can do where one eye is different than another, because let's see, heterochromatic eyes. I can do one of these like that, and I can change. There we go. And there we go. Now it looks like there's a marble in the eye. I could have used this to make Jury if I had had it at the time when I was giving her as a reference, to give her to the artist as a reference for the one eye that is a piece of magical marble. There you can save appearances. And you can see, I mean, there aren't many pieces of clothing you can change. You can go into this and do some advanced editing and such to get some pieces, but I imagine most of the clothing items are things you're going to have to earn in game. I mean, you get some versatility. Like, I used this one for when I did Irene, and was a Dhampir character I have in a Fate game I played. There are a ton of accessories. Unfortunately, the face is mostly going to be the same general structure, just with different sizes and positionings and such. So, and you're not going to be able to pose it very well. Your physique, at least on the female side, is basically your curves. and height and overall balance, but there's a lot of sliders and all that. Um, it could be better, but it is still decent. Anyway, that'll do. Okay, so this is Baldur's Gate 3, which is an early access. The advantage is we do have a wide variety of D&D races, and if you go to classes, you get some choice in outfit, but you can't really do too much with what you're wearing. There are some sub races as well, though the looks here you could create this look for this sub race or whatever, so that doesn't really thing. There are a lot of there aren't a lot of you could do the different horn styles. If I were to choose a different, let's go human. The heads here, there are slightly different options of heads on different races, peoples. There are a fair number of skin colors. What's really important is you can click all skin colors. I'm hoping they let us. I'm hoping this doesn't go away when the full release happens. Right now it's an early release, but you can do like the dryad tone to get like somebody who's a little bit who maybe is a tree spirit. There are quite a few hairstyles. This has really got some of the best hairstyles of the character creators we're going to be doing. It is, but yeah, you can do some definite shifts here. Same here with the hair colors. Now we have highlights, which is something we didn't have last time I played this. And I can change the highlight intensity so you can make it kind of glowing like that. If you want to, you can also have it gray. So you can simulate aging. See what they would look like as they get older, I guess. There are also tattoos, makeup. Let's do a... So the makeup is a fairly significant number of different styles. The tattoos are... There is one I like really good that's at like number 1, I think. It's these birds. The Baldur's Gate is just really kind of beautiful. You are limited in the number of faces you get, and yeah, you can give a beard to your so the beards aren't limited by masculine or feminine. That's really cool. The head, you do have a limited number of heads. It's like for humans it's only like 8 heads. But with the hairstyle and the eye colorations and all that, you don't get to choose your outfit other than class. But it's still very beautiful. And you can use this to simulate a lot of things a lot of races that the look of a lot of races that are not in there yet. For example, let's do this to Draconic. I can give it scales. This is how I did a Yuan-Ti. This is how I got Yuan-Ti portraits in a couple places. Okay, so that's Baldur's Gate 3. So this is Neo 2. It's one of my current Let's Plays that I'm doing right now. The big thing about this is there is a lot of control over... There's a lot of sliders. You can do a lot. There's a lot of sliders, a lot of options. Density, like I can make this disappear almost entirely, or I can make it thinner. There's a lot of presets for faces, or you can do individual things. It flashes which area is going to be in a lot of cases going to flash what is going to be affected. There's also, if you do bases, there's a lot of presets that you can use to base off of that you, if you were looking for a specific ethnicity, they've done some of the work for you. Um, you can do some custom skin colors. You cannot get anything too fantastical, though you can, as long as you're willing to do just the face. If you want to get like a She-Hulk look, you can get like that. You have to be, you'll want to like cover up the edges with the hair and all that so you don't see, and it won't, as you can tell, do the rest of the body. I think there are some mods and all that that would let you get past that. Um, the body, you can change weight, muscle definition, lots of chest size, of course. Yeah. Anyway, there's lots of different body markings. I've got the three maximum I can have. I got the fish tattoo. I got two fish tattoos, and I got a scar on her arm. You can also do face markings. Um, you can also do heterochromia like she has. There aren't as many iris styles as Code Vein has, but there are different iris styles, as you can see. And there are, you can do custom colors. You can do a lot more unusual colors here. Anyway, so that's Neo 2. The disadvantage is, you see the outfit here? This has to be earned in-game. This is a character I've been playing up to mid-game for this in here, and I just went into her HUD to change her appearance rather than making a new character. So you want different outfits, you have to play the game. You're going to start with something called the Lone Wolf outfit, which I'll show you what that looks like. Refashion, armor, I'll just show you the top part. So the starting character has that. So that's what you will be wearing as a starting character. Anyway, that is Neo 2. It is really good, but you will, all the gear and armor and all that is geared towards Warring States period Japan. And as you could tell by her outfit, sometimes it needlessly superhero sexy, but oh well. Did she just say where has it all gone wrong? That's unusually downcast for you, Toyo. Anyway, on to the next one. Okay, so this is The Secret World, which is a free-to-play MMO. Now, one of the advantages this has is that it is modern setting. If you want to change what city it is, you can go back and reselect your faction. Illuminati will give you an American city like New York. The Templars will give you London-ish, and the Dragon will give you something that's supposed to be Seoul. There are a number of different core face options. You can change your skin color based off that. There's no real inhuman skin colors here. You can modify your core face a little bit. The hair, there's some really nice things you can do with hair in this. I really like the hairstyles. Where is the messy hairstyle I gave when I made an image for a vampire here? Is that the picture? I think that's the picture. But like you have that. I think I went with this was the outfit. I forget what kind of eye color I went with. I think it was purple. Maybe it was blue. You can do facial features like you could do a scar. You can only have one set of facial features, unfortunately. So you can't like layer a tattoo and a scar. You have to have one or the other. Um, let's go back to here. You can still choose the what colors is what. The This skin tone looks a little off for real world. It looks kind of gray or silver base rather than human base, but a lot of video games don't seem to know how to do dark skin. Surprise, surprise. Um, it always comes off looking weird compared to people you meet in real life. Facial features, again, that, and you can add makeup, but the makeup it looks like one of these is supposed to be actually freckles. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like they're supposed to be freckles. Yep, that I think is supposed to be freckles. That's not. That is maybe freckles and eyeshadow. Then you have this, which is like a splash across the face. There you go. Um, anyway, you can select clothing, but most of the clothing is from the class you choose or earned in game. Actually, not class you choose, class you earn, because you're not going to start with the class outfits. You have to uh, get different skills unlocked, and once you get the right set of skills unlocked, you earn the class that goes with those skills for their outfit. You don't get any special abilities or anything like that. Positive side is that this is a modern setting. There aren't a lot of character creators that are modern setting. Uh, and the hair styling is pretty useful, and there is some flex in this. You won't get to mess with the body shape at all, but it is what it is. It's not terrible. I've used it before. Okay, so this is Neverwinter Nights 2, which I've used in a number of cases to make portraits for my characters for tabletop or digital game, like digital tabletop, because a lot of my gaming group is in Australia or England. You have a lot of the basic options. You also have, if you have the full thing, Yuan-Ti, plain touched. Well, you have plain touched regardless, but like Tiefling is in there and Azamar is in there. Half orc, half elf. One of the big strengths about this is that there is a lot of mods out there. On downside, it is a little bit dated, and some of the default stuff has this very, even if I were to go back and pick human, the human faces aren't much less Innsmouthy. But like I said, there is a thriving mod. Well, I don't know how often people are modding it now, but there is a lot of mods out there. So like I got a mod. I was planning to play a team of all Yuan-Ti. The problem is when I went to go in and play it, it was really glitchy. So until I can figure out how to get the glitches fixed because it's too old a game basically. But I wanted to get more variety in non-T faces, so I got a mod pack that gave me more Yuan-Ti versatility. So I have some neat faces for Yuan-Ti, just not others people's. I also have a mod pack with a lot of nice hairstyles. I don't have many other active mods going on right now, but I did want this one with all these neat hairstyles. But yeah, pretty firm set of modding going on. I do know there are some like not safe for work mods out there. With some of the mods, you can get to something that is similar to or as good as Baldur's Gate 3 has, but by and large, anything Neverwinter Nights is going to do, you can at least simulate with Baldur's Gate 3. Now, there are some things that, like, this is going to be hard to do on Baldur's Gate 3. That's probably going to be hard to do, like the fire aura. Nah, that's not going to happen. The electrical, the wind bit. Nah, that's not going to happen. Azamar is basically just a brighter shade of human, to be honest. Tiefling. Tiefling unfortunately doesn't have too many options. The horns are always the horns. If you want a Tiefling, you're better off with Baldur's Gate 3. But yeah, by and large, for D&D's type stuff, if you have Baldur's Gate 3, it's better. It can do anything this can do. But this still is one of my favorite games. Anyway. Okay, this is City of Heroes 2. Big disadvantage right off the bat is it is no longer available for sale anywhere. You have to track down a privately run server and get on it through there. I play through Homecoming, which is the most stable. As far as I know, it is the most stable. Another downside is that it is very much geared towards Western superhero idealism. So, like, the waist by default is way too skinny. You can kind of get a sort of good waist. You cannot get plus sizes by any means of the imagination for female characters. It's a little bit difficult to do it for male characters too. The easiest way I've done to do plus size characters is to take a huge / brute person and play with the sliders. But even that's going to be more muscular than anything like that. But you do have a lot of control there, a fair amount of control. There are a lot of pieces. Now, here's the thing. There is a random button, and if this were Neo 2, I could push random and get a reasonable looking character that could pass as that could be a normal person that looks eccentric, but looks like a human adventurer, maybe with demon blood. If I push random on City of Heroes, it's just going to go all over the place. So I really wouldn't recommend it. There are just a whole lot of things, and the random button is really random. It doesn't have any sort of code with it. Matches a limited number of colors, but it doesn't really have a code saying that tends towards, if you have this piece, tend to pick from these other pieces. So I would what the hell? I thought that was an Egyptian hat for a little bit. Nope, that's the tall military hat. But there is just a large variety of things you can do with this. The art's a little bit dated, similar to Neverwinter Nights 2, but I will argue that while the art is more dated, the art is not as, at the time, detailed or as such as Neverwinter Nights 2. I would argue that City of Heroes' art is much less Uncanny Valley. And unfortunately, you're set with a specific expression on your face, but there are a lot of things you can do with it. And there's just a lot of options. I'm just going to go back to my character select and just show some of the things here that you can do. So, she's got barbed wire wrapped around her eyes. This is my cosplaying vampire. That's the character I'm playing right now. You can get relatively normal looking characters like this. You can just do a lot. You can even do D&D type stuff. There is a lot of versatility that you can do. And yes, that is Medusa hair. Gorgon hair. I think it's called Serpentine. And there's a lot of different outfit pieces. Again, I suggest Homecoming. It is a very upfront, stable community, and I definitely highly recommend it if you're interested. But that's City of Heroes. So last one I'm going to look at is Hero Forge. There are a number of character creators out there you could use to create art for tabletop role playing or art as reference to other things. There's a lot out there. I have been using. I pay for a professional subscription just for both to get more access to options and to so that I don't feel bad about doing a lot of dioramas. Now, to be perfectly frank, I do purchase like a new mini like every 2 or 3 months, just as commemorating old characters. Um, but yeah, I make lots of different things. I make dioramas. If you've seen my blog or some of my videos here, you've seen me do some of these. There's one of the definite things that I like about this is you can pose images and let's see, um, I could do these two, and as you can see, I've got her hand posed on their shoulder. You cannot control the legs. From the waist down, you can't really do much. That is based off of whatever one of these poses you pick. But you can move around the mini's position on the base, and you can maneuver arms and hands and just grips and all that. And so you can do little cute things like this about uh, these two having a moment together in the garden. Um, let's see. Or uh, these two having a sisterly moment since these characters are sisters. Or yep, there are a lot of options. These two arguing over a tiara. Um, there's a lot of different things you can do. And so you can definitely use this very easily to make a generalized portrait for your character. They even have one of the options for one of the services you get as a for a pro subscription is the booth where you can make tokens. I've used this a couple times. Uh, let's load Cadence with full magic going on here. And you can do a lot with this. You can now do things where you can set up your own backgrounds and such like that. There's a lot you could do now. Okay, but again, Hero Forge is another case where is you can create some art for your TTRPG characters. Oh no!